Today is the first ride on the Giant Revolt. I'm really stoked about this ride. So I finished building it up last night. I have not yet had a chance to get some water bottle cages, so that's the last little touch for the bike, but everything else is ready to go. So I'm about to hit some gravel roads, and through the ride I'll talk about what I feel about the first ride on the bike. Let's go. So the things that I really want to focus on with this bike is how comfortable it is on a gravel ride. And not sure if it'll show up in the GoPro video, but the road that I'm riding right now is fairly smooth, but it's got some kind of just pitted lime rock, and it can get pretty jarring at times if the little holes, little pits in the road are deep. Just hit a big rock. Might need to go a little bit higher on the tire pressure with the carbon rims. I could feel that rock. So this bike has, I think it's 40C tires. They look really similar to the Schwalbe G1s that I have on my other bike. This is a road that's a little bumpier. It's got more pits in it. It's got some washboards coming up. Just after the first little bit here, I can tell you, this is a comfortable bike. I wasn't sure, you know. I mean, my TCX is fairly comfortable, but it's a stiffer bike. Well, I can tell you right now that Giant has done a great job making the carbon on this bike more compliant than the TCX. I just pulled over and checked the rear tire. I thought I had a little flat because I hit a rock pretty hard back there. Tire's fine. It almost felt too good. Here's some washboards. My ultimate test of a gravel bike is if it's comfortable over washboards. I hate washboards. We get a lot of them in the drier months. The more rain we get, the better our gravel roads get. So far, so good. I'm gonna purposely ride through potholes. Like right there. Wow. This is a comfortable bike. And it's not twitchy. It's definitely a more relaxed geometry than the TCX. Like I've said in some of my other videos, I've spent a lot of time on gravel roads on the TCX. No complaints at all. It's a little harsh after a long ride, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, but for a cross race bike, especially with bigger tires, the TCX does fine. But that's mainly, I've only ridden that on like flatter roads. There's a real bumpy section. Nice. Where the TCX is going to hit its limit is on fast descents, really fast descents, and you know, places where you're going to spin out the gears, because cross race bikes today are 1x systems. I prefer 2x for gravel bikes because you don't get a big jump in the rear cassette. If you have a gravel bike with a 1x, you know, one front chainring, you got to compromise on the rear cassette and get some bigger jumps. I'll tell you what I'm really liking is this new Shimano Ultegra. The shifting action is so light. Let's try the front derailleur. Oh man. So I have SRAM Rival on my other gravel bike, which I like, but the Rival is harder to shift than the SRAM Force that I have on my cross bike, the TCX. This Shimano is much easier to shift. And one thing I don't like about SRAM Road is the fact that I have to adjust the brakes, recenter those hydraulic brakes all the time. And I'm hoping that won't be the case with this Shimano Ultegra. I've had Shimano Road in the past and have not had that issue of having to readjust the brakes all the time. Here's a short hill. I'm going to get out of the saddle, see how it feels. Hear the spokes popping. Brand new wheel set. It's a fast bike. Accelerates really well. Feels good out of the saddle. So this bike has flared handlebars, which I've really come to like on a gravel bike. They're not quite as flared as the ones on my 9er RLT9. The thing I really like about flared bars is when you get down on the drops, your hands are wider and you just feel like you have more control. What I don't like is the fact that your shifters are angled in more. This one, like I said, it's not as much, so the shifters are not angled in as much. I like that. But yeah, it's got a decent flare. Probably prefer the flare more on my other bike, but these are definitely better than just a standard bar like you would have on a TCX. So by the way, I'm trying a new GoPro setup today. I've got an external microphone hooked up. Let's see how this goes. Y'all let me know how the audio is on this video. I'm also messing around with the resolution settings. Going slow. I don't want to get the brand new bike all muddy. Had some rain last night. For the most part, these roads are in great shape. Just a few little mud puddles. You know what? Let's sprint on this bike. See how it feels like on a sprint. Slow down a little bit. Yeah, feels good. Not quite as peppy as the TCX, but the comfort is what you go for on these bikes. So my first impressions of this bike is that it is stable and comfortable. The exact things you look for in a gravel bike. I'll be posting my first look video of this bike where I show it more in detail, show the weight, and show some of the features on it. So I'll be posting that one in the next couple days. So check that one out. But yeah, this is a great bike. It feels, even though it's stable, it also feels very snappy. So this is my first time using the Giant crosscut tires, and they feel good. They're probably a tad beefier than my Schwalbe G1s. If you're used to a 23C road tire, they're gonna feel a little slow, but the idea of a gravel bike is you want to stay off the pavement as much as possible. At least that's my goal. But yeah, these feel good. Good on pavement and very comfortable on gravel. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. You know, Giant was a little late to the game with a pure gravel bike, but they finally come out with a really good one. They're no longer trying to repurpose the TCX as a gravel bike. And you know, I was concerned that the carbon rims would be a little too harsh, or that Giant didn't build enough compliance into the frame, but none of those concerns played out. This is a very comfortable bike. So I'll be doing a bunch more videos on this bike, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thanks for watching.